Lunar Transit on schedule.
All right. So now I'm just gonna, let's see here, separate these out.
Coming from the speaker, man.
Our first line actually is from, I'll just rename this right now.
Name it the jump program.
So the first piece we want is Alan doing his fuss line there, or doing the check off of the in the ship. And it'd be better if
Kind of mixed pieces back and
Pressure
forth.
relief valves.
I'm sorry?
You kind of mix parts of each one together too, right?
Yeah. Well, what's going to happen? This software allows me to put all the audio on top of each other if I want to like play them together or whatever. But in this case, I like to separate the tracks so that I can treat each one differently. Different people's voices need different EQ, compression, all sorts of things to make them sound just right. And especially in this case, we got one character who's supposed to be played over a radio, so it needs different treatment. So I always separate them across different tracks.
Cool.
It also lets me overlap them if I ever need to do that, though this script doesn't have any overlap dialogue.
Power servos, normal. Pressure relief valves, normal. Cabin heat exchanger, normal. SOS modules, normal.
That's how I sound.
Yes.
Yes. Man, that sucks.
I told you. Well, here we go. So first problem we got is that it's not an SOS module, it's an SCS module. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that little take of SOS module and we're going to kill that.
Now that's where you gotta hit the song "Sending Out an SOS."
Now if I'm not mistaken, we got it right the second time.
SCS modules, normal.
There we go. So we got that. What I'll do is I'll now clip that out, move that over here, and then we should have
That's so cool.
clean tape.
Amazing.
Power servos, normal. Pressure relief valves, normal. Cabin heat exchanger, normal. SCS modules, normal.
Now the only problem with that is I think we lost a little bit of the rhythm. That last line was a little bit too
The
soon.
one right before SCS sounded like I was trying to hold the crap in. Over.
This one?
SCS
No, the
modules,
one right before that, the line right before that, power exchange valve.
cabin heat exchanger,
Right there, like I'm trying to pull
You've identified a problem, so I'll tell you what. We'll go ahead and kill that piece, and I'm going to assume that your second take, that the earlier take from that was good.
Houston, we have
So
a
we'll
toilet.
extend that out.
power servos, normal. Pressure relief valves, normal. Cabin heat exchanger, normal. SCS modules, normal.
Now the only problem here is that you did stay the second take a little bit faster. That's why we got those last two at a different rhythm from the first.
slightly louder.
And well, that I can fix as well. So what I'll do is I'll separate them a little bit more so we got the rhythm
Normal.
about right.
Cabin heat exchanger, normal. SCS modules, normal.
And now we've got the take. As for the volume, what we can do
Cool.
is we
Can
can
I
take.
have this program? I have something like this on my Xbox.
Oh.
It's really cool.
What program are you using?
This is Pro Tools,
Oh.
and actually, so you guys know, every movie, every TV show, every album, everything, Pro Tools. It's the only software choice when it comes to the professional world of audio engineering.
And I assume it costs about $4,000.
Not anymore.
Mine costs
It
800 Microsoft.
You're absolutely right that it used to cost about $20,000 to get started, and it's very it can't get, and the new ones that are pro level are still that much expensive. But since then, Pro Tools has made much more manageable priced devices that work off of USB and FireWire. You can get like this, runs the same software, and starts at around $300. So it's and yeah, if any of you are interested in getting into audio editing, by all means, Pro Tools is the way to go. Yeah.
If you have an Xbox, there's a really cool program that lets you create music with vocals, and your vocals, music, little bits. It's 2-second bits.
Mhm.
It's called Easy Muse Plus. And it's kind of funny, it's the hamster edition. But
All
it's
right.
really cool. Like, I've spent hours on there, and I've already made like 5 songs that last about 5 minutes long. It's really good because you can mix and match the beats, you can raise the tempos, all that.
Very cool. All right. I wasn't aware of that. I'll have to check that out.
800 Microsoft points.
There's a lot cheaper
Way
than
better
Pro
than
Tools.
$2,000.
A lot cheaper than Pro Tools, that's for certain.
And it will not break. Oh, he's broke.
So one thing I did is I took these other two clips and I made them a little bit quieter, since you made the point that the volume was a little bit louder on those. And now what we need to do is apply the FUTs. Part of that is compression. Now this voice doesn't need much compression because it's already pretty squeezed down as it is.
Thank you, big head.
So those who don't know, so compression is exactly that process of taking those spikes of audio, taking those peaks, and bringing it down so that you have it at a much more even level, the way that Alan's voice is recorded here. And the reason that you do that is because people's ears are really, really good. We hear real good, and speakers are generally not so good. Unless you've got really, really fancy speakers, it'll always sound bad if you've got natural style dynamics, very loud, very quiet, in the same audio channel, coming out of a speaker that is $50 off the shelf.
Especially transmitted from space.
Especially transmitted from space. Well, in this case, we're going to the extreme.
Well, the best speaker you have, though, is your mouth.
It's a very good speaker.
Doesn't do the violin very well, though.
Now, the other thing that's involved in a FUTS is killing a lot of frequencies, because what we hear is about 20 to 20,000 hertz. It's a lot of whine. You can hear the high-pitched stuff, you hear the low-pitched stuff. A speaker just gives you a little itty-bitty range of that. Of course.
And that's not to protect your ears.
No, it's because the technology is usually pretty cheap. Because you're playing the audio out of a speaker like this big. So I mean, the thing is that the speaker that big is never going to be able to produce big booming bass and lovely high trills. So
I got an idea. Can you actually make my voice sound like there's buttons kind of clicking and whirring behind them at the same time?
that would be a sound effect, and I can add that, but I don't have.
Like, you know how in space you got that kind of low frequency hum, and then you got the kind of like.
Absolutely, I know what you're talking about. I can do that, but I didn't bring that with me here. But what I can do is I can kill the frequencies around at the top and bottom so that we're only listening to a bit in the middle.
Power servos, normal.
And that's kind of a fuss.
Release valve, normal. Cavity exchanger,
I can squeeze it really hard,
SDS module,
That sounds cool.
normal.
which
Sounds
is,
like I'm speaking in tin can.
or I can give it
Power
a
servos,
little bit less.
normal. Pressure release valve,
It's not much more space.
There you go. That's a little more spacey.
There you go.
There we go. All right. So
I'm in space. You're not.
It's okay, I got to take a nap.
Fired.
all right. So we've got our FUTs. This character is going to go away for a little bit. We'll go over. Now it's going to be Edwin and Gina for the next scene. Whoop. All right.
Hey. 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 Hey.
This is great. And just so you know, that's exactly what you're supposed to do. 3 performances, 3 styles, as an editor. That's fantastic. I get to choose which ones of those really works nicely. And I gotta admit, I like number 1. What do you guys think? Number 1? It's got a nice flat, totally, yeah, exactly. It sounds like a boss.
You should have had her come up and fill us up.
No.
I like 3.
All right, so why don't we go ahead and use, you like 3?
Yeah.
Why do you like 3?
Sounds
Hey.
more natural. Sounds like they're trying to.
She's like saying it kind of calmly but sternly at the
It
same
needs to be a
time.
boss.
Hey.
It needs to be a boss.
The thing is
Yeah,
that
but make
the
it
the
boss.
first one sounds more professional to me. I mean, you're right, the third one sounds more natural, but it sounds like there'd be a relationship between Gina and Edwin.
Probably so there is.
Here you got it.
No.
Just like, yo, what's up?
Maybe that's why he hasn't been fired yet.
What are you guys thinking? 3 or 1? 1. Most votes are for 1. All right. So now we have to have the response from Edwin on that, and that's when I believe that's where the we'll go right to the shouting here. You don't? Is that not it?
I thought it was. I don't know.
Let's see here. Well, let's give it a listen.
Go ahead and start with.
That's what I'm blabbing.
Systems normal. Lunar transit.
That's me.
All systems normal. Lunar transit on schedule. All systems normal. Lunar transit on schedule. All systems normal on lunar transit. on schedule.
Number 2.
Okay.
What? Oh, that's just the work.
You like, so number 2?
Yeah, 'cause
All
number-
systems normal. Lunar transit on schedule.
Number 3 sounds like he's kind of rolling in his words and he's kind of like stuttering as he's trying to do it. But number 2 is like basically to the point. He's freaked out. He's gonna get fired, and he doesn't know what to do.
Alright,
And he's just trying to do it so that he pleases the boss.
alright, that sound good to people?
Yeah.
Number
About a
2?
half second
Yeah, I
between
think Rockstar he'll feel better.
the, all systems.
Yeah, he has time to look around. He's like,
Alright, sounds good. Alright, so I'll go ahead and use take number 2. And now we want this thing, he's got to respond quickly to her.
you're number 2.
That's a different panel.
I don't wanna know that.
Yeah, I was about to say, man. I'm gonna miss that one. So I've put the line real close to Gina because I think he's got to respond quickly to that. That when she says, hey, he immediately wakes up.
All systems normal.
Oh, okay, actually it would be better if you could hear her line.
Hey,
All systems normal. Lunar transit on schedule.
It's
Put a pause right
a little bit of pause?
between one-
Yeah, a little bit of pause.
And then it just sounded like the desk being shuffled, like.
There's-
Takes
you're-
him a minute to wake up.
Yeah, he's got to have a few, like a second or two to actually wake up and realize what's going on.
You gotta
There's got to be the bump of like the desk or something like that.
Yeah.
Good point.
hey,
All systems normal. Lunar transit on schedule.
Is that a good pause? I mean, you're absolutely right. There should be a bump there, but this is where you got to think
The hay,
a bit longer.
the hay almost gets
Yeah.
lost
Yeah.
without.
She's like, hey. And then he's just like, oh, something. It'd be more like, hey.
hey,
All systems normal. Lunar transit on schedule.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
needs to be a little bit
Maybe
louder.
up her volume, where she's like, says the same hey, but hey, there's louder volume to.
Oh, just to make the volume. Okay, well, you know what? Then here's something we can do at this point. We can add some compressions to these. So you guys didn't have the advantage of having a fur head on you, so your voices weren't compressed. But we can add compression. I'll add this right here. What's this is going to do? And this gives you a kind of a graphic representation of what compressors do.
All systems normal. Lunar transit on schedule.
You see that? Is everyone able to see that? The little orange bar that moves.
All systems
That
normal.
line?
Lunar transit on schedule.
So when the voice gets loud, that orange bar starts pushing down. And the whole idea is that what the compressor's doing is taking all the loudest moments and then making it quieter at those loudest peaks. So the thing is that if I really, just as an example, if I really crush this sucker, let's just compress the heck out of this. And then, well, let's see here. I do it.
You're gonna sound like an alien.
It won't sound like an alien, but it will sound different. It'll sound, well, you get the sound of compression. So I'm just going to crush this sucker. Boom. And see how much that changed? So this is what it was before, and now I do that. And so now all those peaks are all now smashed down, and now there's very much less difference between what's quiet and what's loud. And that makes that voice easier to listen to on cheap, small speakers like this, and like most people would probably be listening to. I'm screwing with your voice, that's for certain.
All systems normal. Lunar transit on schedule.
Has a much different quality to it, doesn't it?
He's
So-
talking in a megaphone.
Well, the hay hasn't been compressed yet, but
hey,
All systems normal. Lunar transit on schedule.
now it brings them closer together, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So now that was way too much. So I'm going to just give this. I've got a kind of a setting here that just sort of works.
All systems normal.
And it's a lot louder too. So I'll bring that down. And I'll go ahead and duplicate that over here. Let's see how that sounds.
hey,
All systems normal. Lunar transit on schedule.
That sound more clear?
Yeah.
Lines are more present. You can. It all makes more sense out of coming out of the little speaker. All right. Let's move on to the next line. And I can see we're getting close to 8:30, which is when we're going to switch over to the next hour. So I'm only going to be able to